Hi everybody, I'm Michael Franzetti and we are here today at Crystal Bridges in the 20th and 21st Century Realism section. Today I'm discussing the artwork called The Lobster Wars, which was painted by the artist Beau Bartlett, who is a realist painter born in 1955. As described on his website, beaubartlett.com, his paintings celebrate the underlying epic nature of the commonplace and personal significance of the extraordinary. The artwork was painted in 2007, and there's a really interesting story behind it. The subject of Bartlett's painting, Ronnie, is modeled after R.K. Ames, who lived on and fished off of Matinicus, a remote island off the coast of Maine. The painting details lobster wars, which are disputes over the right to set lobster traps off the coast of the island of Matinicus. Sure enough, 2 years after he painted the Lobster Wars, news stories began to surface nationally about these disputes, which were rival families fighting for their own areas to fish, because there have been fewer lobsters caught in recent years. In the painting's foreground, there is a man, Ronnie, facing us with a bloody apron on a silverish boat that looks very much like a sailboat with some areas to put fish or lobsters. In the middle ground, there is a man with his back turned with what appears to be a spear or harpoon, and next to this is a pirate flag with the Jolly Roger. In the background is the water and sky, with a hint of smoke in the distance. The lines and shading of the painting lead the eye to the main focus of the picture, Ronnie, standing in a warlike stance. The boat, very prominent in the foreground, cuts the picture plane in two, almost right through the middle, and takes up a lot of space in the painting. The medium is oil on canvas, which really allows Bartlett to paint the characters and scenery realistically, so realistically that it almost looks like a photograph. The size is 80 by 112 inches, so fairly large for a painting, which can be seen in the picture included where I am next to the painting. The iconology, or interpretation of the rationale behind the work, is not hard to comprehend. A few things are very noticeable at first glance. First off is the way that Ronnie is separated from the viewer because of the boat. The boat is, in a sense, protecting us from Ronnie, who looks ready to slit someone's throat. He stands in a way that it looks like at any moment he could jump over the boat and grab us. Next, notice the bloody apron which Ronnie is clothed in, which is perhaps the most powerful symbol to me. This apron symbolizes the conflict of the Lobster Wars, and what an exaggeration. The blood calls to mind war immediately. Another thing very noticeable is the fisherman cap that Ronnie is wearing. It looks very much like a Viking helmet because of the way the sides of the cap curve upward. Also, the pirate-like Jolly Roger on the sail with the skull and crossbones reminds viewers of sea battles and plundering, which is very apt for the subject matter of fighting over lobsters. Next up is the man behind Ronnie. He is turned with his back toward the viewer and appears as if he is about to harpoon someone or something. Could there be a ship on the other side of this? Could it be a shark that he is about to harpoon? There is no telling. It certainly raises a few questions. The time period of this painting is realism, or more accurately, a return to realism. Once photography emerged, painters and sculptors began to use photographs to decrease the time that their models had to sit. This all led to a return to realism in the late 20th and early 21st century. A good piece of artwork to compare this to during the same time period is Dwayne Hanson's The Cowboy, sculpted in 1995. The medium of Hanson's sculpture is polyester resin polychromed in oil. Hanson is a super realist sculptor who liked to create lifelike statues which he even clothed. In The Cowboy, we see this representation of a man who appears lifelike. Even though it is a sculpture, just look at the realism in this figure compared to Ronnie in the Lobster Wars. Both really show this style of realism perfectly. Hanson's cowboy is in a contrapposto pose, which is similar, although not the same, to Ronnie's stance in the Lobster Wars. Both exude masculinity by their stance. They are both made to exhibit realness as much as possible. Hanson's sculpture has 5 o'clock shadow, and even chest hair to add to the effect of his realness. Bartlett's painting of Ronnie contains facial hair so realistic that you can almost see each hair on his face. Even the size of each of the characters is realistic. The cowboy is a life-size sculpture, and Ronnie is painted life-size, which is evident in my photo of me next to the painting. I chose this painting because of the manliness I felt when I saw it. The stance of Ronnie in the middle of the canvas is very intimidating and manly. Not only that, His apron is covered in blood, and there is a pirate flag on the boat, which appeals to me because I've always liked stories about pirates. As I wrap this up, I hope you have enjoyed this video and analysis of Bo Bartlett's The Lobster Wars. Hope you have a great day.